Ronnie J, go stupid.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ton Sneakers, and because we didn't have any drops this week, we're not going to be dropping a live cop today. Instead, we're going to be doing a cyber bot guide. Before we get started, I want to go over the sells that I've made in the past week or two and share the profits with you guys. First, we managed to sell a size 8.5 Kobe 6 Grinch for $360. This is a $170 profit on this pair. Next, we managed to sell a size 10 Kobe 6 Grinch for $390. This is $200 profit on this pair. And last, for the Kobe's, we managed to sell a size 11 for $410. This is $220 profit for this pair. So off of those three Kobe's alone, we managed to rack up $590 in profits. These three Kobe's sold very quickly via OfferUp, which surprised me a lot. We used PayPal Invoice because of the buyer and seller protection, and I factored the 3% PayPal fee into the transactions. Lastly, we managed to get a pre-sale for a size 6.5 undefeated Air Max in the green colorway. We managed to sell it for $240, which is $60 profit. If you add this profit to the profit of the Kobe's, we managed to make $650 in profits in the past week. And if you combine this with the past 2 weeks or my last live cop, we managed to make a total of $1,050. Now that my sales are out of the way, let's get straight to the guide. First, we'll start off in the settings of Cyber. Here we have an import and export button, just in case you want to save settings. Next is where you log into Discord. So here we have my Discord username and the expiration date right here. Yes, I know this is a very far expiration date, but this is a lifetime copy of Cyber. Next, we have the delay section. You can actually pop this out and leave this up, which is very helpful for drops. You always want to pop that out. And if you change it, it'll automatically switch to it. You don't have to press anything after it. It'll automatically start running those delays, which is very nice. Let's talk about the monitor, retry, and timeout delays. The monitor delay is the delay in which Cyber scans the website for the keyword, link, variant, or SKU to be fully active. This delay is in milliseconds, and you want to change it depending on the drop. Cyber also rotates proxies in your proxies tab to avoid getting banned from websites. Next, we have the retry delay. The retry delay is essentially the error checkout delay. This is the amount of time Cyber waits before trying to cart the item and check out again. This runs on the proxy you have attached, so it does not rotate. This also varies from drop to drop, but I normally keep it the same as the monitor delay. And lastly, we have the timeout delay. A lot of people have been asking me about what timeout does, so here's the explanation for it. The timeout delay is the time in seconds that the bot will wait for the website to load before retrying. This is useful for proxies that get throttled. A recommended timeout delay is 30 to 60 seconds. So the timeout delay is measured in seconds instead of milliseconds. Next, we have the webhook, which is pretty straightforward. You just put the link of your webhook in here and it'll send everything there. Next, we have Autosolve, which is also pretty straightforward. You just put your access token, :API key in this section right here, and it'll send all your captchas to whatever program you're using. So you can use something like AYCD or maybe 2Cap to send all your captchas there and they'll get solved. Next, we have backup, where you can back up all of your bot data. Then we have the version of Cyber that you're running, and you can always check for updates to make sure you're on the latest update of Cyber. Next, let's move on to rates. I actually don't use shipping rates, but they can be helpful to decrease Shopify checkout time. To add rates, click Add Rates in the bottom left. Select a store. I selected Amman Miniere for the purpose of this demonstration. Then select a profile. I selected the test profile. And then add a product URL. I just found a random pair of shoes on the site, and I added this link here. Then if you click fetch, let's just say fetching shipping rate, and then it loads the shipping rate right there. And that's how you load shipping rates. Next, let's move on to accounts, which is a pretty straightforward section. You have to add the accounts in the correct format, which is email, :password. For example, a test account would look something like this. And then you just hit add. But to add multiple accounts, you just keep adding and just add it like that. You can also import accounts if you have them ready externally. The billing section is also very straightforward, so I won't go too in-depth here, but there are two very important key functions here. The first is the one checkout option. This will allow you to check out one item per profile if it is switched on. This is important because it can reduce the amount of cancellations that you get. For example, if you have 20 tasks on one profile running for Footsites, if one checks out, the rest will immediately stop, thus preventing a PV. The second important function is in the Actions tab. The heart represents your default quick task profiles. When you start a quick task, these will be the profiles that are initiated, and these will be the profiles that are used in those quick tasks. Now I'm going to demonstrate how quick tasks work on Cyber. First, I'm going to heart the US test profile and the UK test profile. Then you have to make sure you have the Cyber SOLE dashboard up, or the quick task will not go through. So make sure you have this up. Right now we're in the task section. As you can see, I have no tasks, but I have these two hearted. And here we have a quick test. I'm gonna click that. Goes through the dashboard. And here we go, adds to cart. Quick test worked successfully. As you can see, it used the US test profile and the UK test profile. And now I should get 2 declines on this. Yep, country unsupported. And now let's move on to the Proxies tab. The Proxies tab is also very straightforward. I have all my proxies in here, but to import them, you just click on this plus arrow right here. Create a new proxy list. Add proxies in the bottom left. Enter whatever proxies you want. Click add. They'll all be imported in here. We'll go back to a proxy list I already have. And you can test proxies, stop tests, clear failed proxies, and buy proxies from Cyber. So here we're just going to test these proxies. These shouldn't work because I don't have these proxies. But we're going to test these on SNK and wait for the results. It shouldn't work. Testing. Timeout on all of them. If we go to proxies such as my Oculus proxies and test proxies on SNK, these all work perfectly. See what speeds you get. Lastly, we have tasks. To create a task, you go to bottom left, you hit create task, and pick whatever website you want. I'm going to go in order. So first we have Supreme. You put keywords. There are no spaces, but there are pluses for Cyber's keywords. So you put the keywords that your cook group gives to you. Size. Pick a size, or you can pick random. Category. Just like any other Supreme bot, basically has the same things. Quantity. Fast, safe, or restock mode. Cyber will tell you which one to use. Profile and proxies. So for Supreme, you want to have your delays a lot lower. I normally have mine at around 300, or 500. Maybe 500 for initial, and then drop it down to 300 for restocks, or maybe even lower. On to the next thing, we have JD and Finishline. Pretty much the same thing. We have size again, and we have SKU, color ID, which again should be provided by Cyber or your cook group. Profiles and proxies. Delays for this can be a little bit higher at around 5K, 4K, because speed doesn't really matter that much on Finishline and JD. You just have to have good Gmails that have 0.9 and can get through the V3 harvesters. So next we have Footsites. Like Finishline and JD, you don't need to have the highest delays as long as stock isn't super low. For the Kobe's, you might have wanted to have lower delays at around like 3K or 2K. But generally, I keep mine at around 5K for Footsites. So here we have size, we have the SKU. You can find this yourself in the link, or you can get it from your cook group. We have payment, card, PayPal, or PayPal card fallback, which was very helpful when they had PayPal. It would go through PayPal, and if that didn't work, it would go to your card. But I think Footsites took out PayPal. Here we have mode, we have release and restock, very straightforward. Profiles and proxies, like always. I haven't used Cyber's mesh module, so I'm not really sure if it works or not. But you have the SKU, payment, card or PayPal, and like always, profile and proxies. As we scroll down further, we have off-white. I know Cyber has a very good off-white module. We have size, SKU, select the SMS validation, enabled or disabled. On hype drops, you probably want to have this enabled because they probably will ask you to validate with a text message. They have card or PayPal. Phone number, leave blank to use your profile phone number, or you can use your own or a different one that's on your profile. Fiscal code. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is for. Profile, proxies, and you normally need an off-white account. Also for off-white, you want to have higher delays because they tend to be longer drops. So I think I was using around 7 or 8K last drop because the drop lasted for around 5 or 6 hours and it starts at 3 in the morning for me. It's pretty brutal, but if you can manage to stay up and track your captchas, it should be a pretty easy hit using Cyber. You also want to use proxies based in different European countries because Off-White is based in Italy. This will give you a higher chance to check out because it seems like Off-White gives European countries the ability to check out at different times. Lastly, we have Shopify. I chose Bodega, but Cyber has a huge list of Shopify websites, or you can use custom Shopify if the site isn't listed. Next, we have size. I always use random when I'm running for Shopify. Then we have keywords, which are no spaces, no pluses, and only minuses. So if you wanted to run for dunk, high, purple, minus low, it would look like this. Next, we have the mode. Select the mode. We have fast, which you would use for sites such as DSM, sites with a password page, and you would use this at very low delays. Next, we have safe, safe preload, and super safe. These are listed and should be used in correlation with the amount of bot protection on the website that you're trying to bot. First, we have safe, which should be used for light bot protection or little to none. This should be used for a medium amount of bot protection, and super safe should be used for a heavy amount of bot protection, but they just added this. So we should see how this goes. The last option we have here is restock mode, which is pretty straightforward and should be used for restocks. Next, we have accounts, which is only needed for websites that need accounts, such as Concepts or Undefeated. And lastly, we have shipping rates, which I don't use, but I think I might do some testing with it to see if it actually decreases the checkout time. Really quickly, I'm going to go over my personal Shopify setup. This is how it would normally look when I'm setting up for a Shopify release. I would have 2 tasks on local, 2 tasks on some other ISPs, and then 2 tasks on, of course, space, because they always cook shop for me. But as you see, I already went over the keywords. I have dunk, high, purple. I would start on 10,000 delays. Pop that out really quickly. I would have this up. You would start it like this. And gradually, I would go from 10,000 down to 2.8K. As I said in the SOLE guide, this is what I always do no matter what bot I'm running. But it would be like this. Say a minute passes, I would drop it to 8K, both monitor and retry. 3 minutes pass, drop it down to 5,000. And then 30 seconds to 15 seconds before the release, that would be my final change, which would be 2,800. And at that point, you would start getting captchas, you'd be solving, and hopefully you would hit a pair. This has worked very well for me, and I hope it does the same for you. Let me know how it works in the comment section. The only thing left to show is the Captcha window in the bottom right. You click that and it automatically brings up your captchas. You can add a new solver by clicking the plus up here, which gives you a new solver, and then you can add a Google account by clicking the plus right here, and it'll bring up this window where you can sign in, and then it'll show all the Google accounts that you have signed in right here. And it will usually also save your proxy when you do this, which is very nice. But that is the final thing. So thank you for watching the video. I appreciate everyone for watching, and I'll catch you in the next live cop. What's up, everyone? This week was super dry, and as you can see in the back, I'm packing because I'm traveling tomorrow. However, I appreciate you all for getting me so many views and so many likes on the last video, and I really hope to see you on the next live cop.